For many people, boundaries sound healthy in theory, but terrifying in practice. You may know intellectually that boundaries are important, that they protect your energy, that they prevent resentment, that they're necessary for healthy relationships. And yet, when it comes time to actually set one, something inside you freezes. Your chest tightens, your thoughts spiral, your body says, if I do this, I might lose them. If you fear abandonment, boundaries don't feel empowering. They feel dangerous. This video is about why. Why saying no can feel like rejection. Why asking for your needs can feel selfish. Why protecting yourself can feel like pushing people away. And most importantly, how to heal this fear so boundaries stop feeling like a threat to love. What boundaries actually are. Let's start by clarifying something. Boundaries are not walls. They are not punishments. They are not ultimatums. Boundaries are information. They communicate what feels safe, what feels respectful, what you are available for. Healthy boundaries don't push people away. They allow the right people to stay. But if you fear abandonment, boundaries don't feel neutral. They feel like risk, because your nervous system doesn't associate boundaries with safety. It associates them with loss. The root of abandonment: fear. Fear of abandonment doesn't come from nowhere. It forms in early relationships where love was inconsistent, caregivers were emotionally unavailable, closeness could disappear without warning, needs were met sometimes, but not reliably. As a child, you learned something crucial. Connection was fragile. You learned that love could be withdrawn, that being too much might push people away, that staying connected required adaptation. So your nervous system learned, don't upset, don't demand, don't risk. Boundaries became associated with danger long before you had words for them. Why boundaries feel like rejection. When you fear abandonment, your sense of safety is external. Safety comes from being liked, being chosen, being needed, being agreeable. So when you set a boundary, your body doesn't experience it as self-care. It experiences it as, I might disappoint. I might upset them. I might lose connection. Your nervous system confuses separation with abandonment. Even small boundaries can feel catastrophic. Not responding immediately, saying no to plans, asking for consistency, expressing discomfort, because your body learned, if I take up space, I could be left. The survival response behind no boundaries. Many people who fear abandonment live in a fawn response. Fawning is a trauma response where safety is maintained by pleasing, accommodating, anticipating others' needs, minimizing your own. You learn to regulate others' emotions to protect yourself. Boundaries disrupt this strategy. When you set a boundary, you're no longer managing the other person's feelings. And that can feel terrifying, because once upon a time, not managing others' emotions had consequences. Why you override your own needs. If you fear abandonment, you likely learn to ask, what do they need? Before asking, what do I need? You became hyper-attuned to others and disconnected from yourself. So when a boundary wants to emerge, you override it. You rationalize. You minimize. You tell yourself it's not a big deal. This isn't weakness. It's conditioning. Your nervous system learned connection first, self later. The shame around needs. For many abandonment-wounded people, needs feel shameful. Needing feels like being a burden, being demanding, being too much. So boundaries, which often require stating needs, trigger shame. You may think, I shouldn't need this. I should be more understanding. I should be easier. This shame keeps you silent, and silence keeps the abandonment wound alive. Why boundaries feel like control, not care. If your early caregivers reacted poorly to boundaries, with anger, withdrawal, or punishment, your nervous system learned something dangerous. Boundaries cause rupture. So even now, as an adult, your body expects retaliation, emotional withdrawal, coldness, rejection. This expectation isn't irrational, it's memory. Your body is protecting you from past pain. The cost of not having boundaries. While boundaries feel scary, not having them has a cost. Without boundaries, you may feel resentful, feel invisible, feel depleted, feel anxious in relationships. You may stay longer than is healthy. You may tolerate inconsistency. You may lose yourself trying to keep others. Ironically, the thing you do to prevent abandonment often leads to self-abandonment. Why boundaries actually reduce abandonment. Here's the truth many people never learned. Boundaries don't cause abandonment. They reveal compatibility. People who can respect your boundaries are capable of safe connection. People who punish you for boundaries were never safe to begin with. Boundaries don't create loss. They expose reality. How to start setting boundaries safely. Healing doesn't mean forcing yourself to set hard boundaries overnight. It means teaching your nervous system that boundaries are survivable. Start small. Pause before saying yes. Express preferences. Delay responses. Name discomfort gently. Regulate your body first. Then speak. Boundaries land differently when they come from calm, not fear. Self-abandonment versus abandonment by others. One of the biggest shifts in healing is realizing this. The most painful abandonment is not when others leave. It's when you leave yourself. Boundaries are how you stay. Each time you honor yourself, you send your nervous system a new message. I will not disappear to keep love. What healthy love does with boundaries. In healthy relationships, boundaries are respected, needs are negotiated, differences don't threaten connection. Love doesn't require self-erasure. If someone leaves because you set a boundary, they didn't leave because you were too much. They left because the relationship required you to be less. Boundaries feel scary when love once felt conditional. They feel dangerous when connection once felt fragile. They feel risky when safety depended on silence. But boundaries are not abandonment. They are self-presence. And the more you practice staying with yourself, the less terrifying it becomes to ask others to meet you. You don't set boundaries to lose people. You set boundaries to stop losing yourself. And the right connections will not disappear when you do that. They will finally be able to meet you fully.